What's up, guys? It's TechnoViking23 coming at you today with a Destiny video. And today we're going to do a little bit of Crucible talk. I am actually going to be working on my Bad Juju bounty a little bit here, which requires me to get 10,000 points worth of kills in the Crucible. And also on another note today, over on the Bungie.net forums, Deej, who's the community manager for Destiny, actually posted a forum topic asking for opinions on the Crucible and how Bungie can actually improve the Crucible and make it a little bit more appealing to more people to play the game. So I will link to that post down below. I strongly encourage you guys to go over there and voice your opinions, but do so in kind of a a nice manner. Don't go out there just to flame and talk trash, but actually post some good opinions and thoughts on the Crucible. So I, of course, I did a post over there and I put down 4 points that I thought were important for how they could improve the Crucible overall. And I'm going to kind of go over a little bit of that today while I play some Crucible here in the background. So anyways, I pretty much, I have kind of a love-hate relationship with the Crucible. There's times I really enjoy it, times I really don't care for it. In terms of PvP, I find it to be pretty good overall, compared to what we've had for the last few years between, Halo and Call of Duty and Battlefield. I actually was a pretty hardcore Call of Duty player for the longest time. Played Modern Warfare 2, COD 4, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops, and Black Ops 2. Just played those all the time. Didn't care for Ghosts. At that point, I kind of fell out of love with Call of Duty. It just, I realized it's pretty much the same kind of stagnant thing every year. It's almost as if they're just adding new map packs. It's not really a new game. And I was stupid enough to buy Advanced Warfare, and had the same experience. I played it for a couple of days and realized, it's still the same old COD. And another problem was I've been playing Crucible for a while, which I don't know how you guys think about this, but in my own personal opinion, Crucible is very fast-paced. It feels very smooth. The combat's great. There's a lot of gun skill required. You've got a lot of good movement in the Crucible, and I really enjoy it. So when I tried to play the Halo 5 Guardians beta and tried to play Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, the controls just felt so old and clunky and just kind of like I was running around in mud. I just didn't really care for it at all. So that's one of the reasons I have stuck with Destiny's PvP, despite some of my gripes about it. But overall, it can be a really fun way to play. And I apologize if I get bogged down in my commentary here, because it's kind of hard to play PvP and talk at the same time. But my first point that I wanted to make on the Crucible is, while I do enjoy it, I think there needs to be a little bit more variety. And it's kind of good that I'm playing Control here, because I'm going to talk about that a little bit. Every single game mode in the Crucible pretty much boils down to deathmatch. It's all about, who gets the most kills, and not necessarily about objective modes. Control is the perfect example of this. You can capture and hold 2 of the 3 flags, or even 3 of the 3 flags for most of the match, but you can still lose if you're not getting, if you're not getting a lot of kills. And as an objective player, I mostly played Domination in Call of Duty. That was my favorite game mode. I really enjoyed it quite a bit. And I really like the objective games. Halo is the same thing. A lot of big vehicle maps, capture the flag, a lot of great games there. And I really wish they would do something like that here in the Crucible, because I think it could be really good if they had just more game modes to play. There needs to be a little bit more variety, keep people playing a little bit more often. And just, there's a lot of, like everything else in Destiny, there's a lot of potential here. So, really needs to be improved, I believe. I think what they could do, just go back to Halo, Halo 3, Halo Reach even, and they could just pull their playlists they had in those games and just kind of copy and paste those game modes over. Give us some SWAT, give us some team snipers. I think SWAT would be awesome in this game. Actually make people learn how to use their primary and, not just rely on their secondary shotgun or fusion rifle all the time. I think that would be awesome. And also no shields or none of that. Basically, it's just all gun skill. May the best man win, the best shot win. Team snipers, more vehicle modes. They did give us the one new vehicle map, Sky Shock, I believe, with the DLC, but what I've found for the most part when you get into that map is everybody just ignores the vehicles, and since it's a large, wide open map, they ignore the vehicles and then just kind of sit around and snipe. And that can get really annoying. It's like everybody cried they wanted the vehicle modes, and then they give us the vehicle mode, and everybody just uses the map to snipe. So, but overall, before I ramble on this topic, yeah, just more more game modes in the Crucible would be really good. Give it a little bit more variety, because in its current state, it can get a little stagnant, and I don't want to say it's boring. I just I think more game modes would definitely help the longevity of it and make it more appealing to a wider player base. So that is my thought on the Crucible in terms of adding more game modes in. Now my second thought, this is going to refer more to Iron Banner. Now I really do enjoy Iron Banner. I'm not a very good PvP player, as you guys are no doubt noticing here on the gameplay, but Iron Banner is a lot of fun because the level advantages are turned on, and it does really, I think, rely a little bit more on skill. Whereas with the normalization in the regular Crucible, you don't get a lot of skill-based games. It's a lot of people have there's some lucky kills. There's a lot of one-shot kill nonsense, and Iron Banner seems to weed this out a little bit, which I do enjoy quite a bit. And again, with the Iron Banner, I think it just needs more variety. I've played the last two, Iron Banner 3 and Iron Banner 4. Iron Banner 3 I got all the way to rank 5. Iron Banner 4 I got all the way to rank 4 before I finally got kind of burned out on it, because the rewards really aren't that great sometimes. And I just really wanted that rocket launcher they had in the last one, Radagast Fury, so that was really the only reason I got to rank 4. Because I wanted the rocket launcher, and I wanted the level 32 gauntlets, the Iron Regalia Greaves. So I think if they added a little bit more in terms of reward system to Iron Banner, it could be a lot better. More people would be, would want to play it. We're going to be on our 5th Iron Banner coming up whenever they announce it, and this will be the 5th one, and the last 4 have had the exact same shader, the exact same emblems. The weapon rewards have changed a little bit, and they've been pretty, they've been okay. They're not great, but overall it's another game mode that needs looked at and needs to give people more incentive to play it. One of my ideas, and I'm sure other people have talked about this, so it's not solely my idea, is I think that they should have some kind of bounty system where you can actually get an exotic bounty from the Iron Banner and get like an exotic weapon or something that is only available, from the Iron Banner. That would give everybody a big reason to play. Maybe an exotic helmet or an exotic armor piece. They have a really cool Iron Regalia armor set, but make one of those an exotic and make it only acquirable in the Iron Banner. That'd be really cool. Oh, getting shot here. Sorry guys, I kind of lost track there. I'm just kind of, again, it's kind of hard to commentate and play at the same time. And I had something on my mind about the Iron Banner I was going to say, and I seem to have forgot. But yeah, so I like the idea of having it was about the bounties. I was talking about the bounties. Yeah, have the bounties also change. I think it's kind of weird. We're on the 4th Iron Banner, and every single one of them has had the exact same, 20 headshots with an auto rifle bounty, and all the other ones are all the same. And I don't want to hate on auto rifles, because I do use them. I use Suros Regime, I use Hard Light, and a couple of other ones. And I don't mind I prefer to use hand cannons in the Crucible, because I get more satisfaction when I actually kill someone with a hand cannon. It takes a little bit more effort, a little bit more accuracy, but I just feel more satisfaction when I actually get a kill using a hand cannon versus an auto rifle. And I think one of the problems with Iron Banner is, you see a lot of Suros Regime. It seems to be really dominated by Suros. And I think if you put in a different bounty set where you said, hey, go out and get 20 headshots with a scout rifle or 20 headshots with a pulse rifle, because we know nobody really uses pulse rifles with the exception of Red Death. It's a very, non-used weapon type. It's not a good weapon type, really. There are some good pulse rifles and some good pulse rifle users, but I believe they're in the minority. But I think it would be neat to just have them mix up the bounties and encourage some different weapon use. Definitely no fusion rifle, no fusion rifle bounties. That would not be cool. But overall, I think it could be a good way to do things if they would just revamp some of the system, revamp the rewards. Make it more variety is what we need. Just overall in general in this game is we need a little bit more variety. So that is my second point, and of course, every time I touch heavy ammo, I just get ganked immediately. It's like just instant death for me if I touch the heavy ammo. My third point I made in my post over on the forum, and this is just my opinion, guys, so don't take it as fact or don't get all mad at me, but I think fusion rifles are just a little bit too good. I'm not calling for them to be like totally nerfed or anything, but I think the range on fusion rifles is just crazy good. You know, there's a couple of fusion rifles. If you get the Send It perk on them, you can basically cross-map someone like it's a sniper rifle. And I did a little video the other day just kind of demonstrating that in PvE, but it works the same in PvP almost more effectively, because if you hit enough burst on your fusion rifle, it's basically a one-hit kill guaranteed. So, you know, I just think the range needs to be toned down quite a bit, because as they currently stand, it's, you know, a little too long distance for me. And I'm not going to cry and say it needs to be nerfed, nerf this, nerf that, because there's too many nerfs in this game, too many people asking for nerfs. But just maybe tone the range down a bit. I understand it's a rifle actually, so it probably needs to be better than a shotgun a little bit, you know, in terms of the range, but it doesn't need to be out to where you can basically reach somebody almost like it's a sniper rifle. So that is the one. I get killed after we won the match. But so that's one thing I'd like to see looked at, and the other thing is probably the Warlock melee in this game. And I use a Warlock sometimes, so, you know, I'm kind of asking for my own class to be looked at here. But the range on the Warlock melee, it's like shotgun range. I mean, oh wow, that guy got an exotic. Universal remote. That's not a great exotic, but still, that's cool. You know, I like to see the guy who finishes on top getting something good. That's because usually the people down here are the ones that get the, and sometimes I'm the guy down here, so I'm not talking crap on these guys, but usually those are the guys who are getting the exotics. But that's pretty cool to see when somebody up top actually gets something. And that was actually a pretty good game for me, 1.45. So, doing a little bit better than the Crucible. But yeah, back to the Warlock melee, I think the range on that is also a little ridiculous. Plus they get a shield, so they can hit you at shotgun range and gain a little shield or gain some health back. And not saying it's overpowered, but I think that's something that needs to be taken a look at a little bit. And then finally, the other point I made, you know, I have a lot more ideas, but I just wanted to stick to kind of my main couple of points, so I didn't start rambling on and making this big long, you know, too long didn't read post on the forum. But I think they really need to reduce the amount of special ammunition that drops in the Crucible matches. As it stands right now, it's way too easy to get special ammunition and basically just carry it around for the entire match, and you don't even have to use your primary. And a lot of people complain about the fact that everyone in Crucible just uses shotguns, just uses fusion rifles, and there's no focus on primary weapons, which I tend to agree with a little bit. You know, one of the things I do like about Destiny, for the most part, is it does require quite a bit more gun skill, at least in my eyes, than the most recent Halo and Call of Duty titles. The only game I would say still requires a good amount of gun skill besides Destiny is probably Battlefield. Just because there's so many different weapons and different recoil patterns and different, you know, each gun's got its own characteristics. Destiny is like that in a lot of ways. There's a good variety of primary weapons, and, you know, if you're good with hand cannons, you can do well, but if you're good with auto rifles, you can also do very well. So overall, I really think that, you know, they need to take out the special ammo and force people to use their primary weapons more often. I think that would improve overall gameplay. It would improve the variety gameplay. Because, you know, I tell you, the most satisfying thing that's happened to me a couple times in Destiny is I'll get into a match, and there'll be a guy on the other team, and I'll be running a hand cannon. And, you know, this other guy will have a hand cannon as well. And it's like, we'll sit there and we'll have a couple of just encounters where, you know, I'll get him one time, and he'll get me one time, and we'll have these little, like, mid-range map gun battles with hand cannons. And, you know, he's not using a fusion rifle to nail me or trying to do anything else. You know, that's may or may not be a good strategy, but it's just so satisfying to kind of have those gunfights, and he's, you know, it's just a great time when you can actually get into a primary gunfight with someone, depending on their weapon, and you outgun them or they outgun you based on their gun skill and their accuracy, not based on the fact that they just used a fusion rifle to one-shot you from halfway across the map. So that's another point I'd make on that. Now you notice here I switched up the hard light for this map. This is more of a close range map that I don't really know too well. I haven't played this map a lot, so probably not going to do very good this round. A couple of guys coming in here. But see, I think, you know, reducing the amount of special ammo, put it on a timer like the heavy ammo, so that people are not going to just run around the entire time with shotguns and with fusion rifles, because you pick up that special ammo once or twice, you're pretty much set for the entire match. Now, when you die, you will lose some, but for the most part, you're going to you know, be able to carry that ammunition for most of the match. So anyways, guys, I'm going to keep that kind of brief. I don't really want to start, I'm already rambling and I don't want to ramble anymore, but those were my thoughts on the Crucible and, you know, what I posted on the forums and Deej's post. I strongly encourage you guys to go over there, check that out, and, you know, list your own thoughts, and hopefully Bungie will listen to us. You know, I will give them a little bit of credit. You know, I've been critical of the game at times, but it seems to me that they're starting to finally realize that, you know, we, the community, have a lot to say, and we have some good points about the game, and, you know, that we do have, you know, we're not idiots, and we kind of know what we're talking about because we play the game all the time, and I'm glad that they seem to be listening a little bit to us, and I hope that they do take some of our ideas and thoughts in mind and basically, you know, adapt them to the game, because there are a lot of people out there that have some great ideas about Destiny, how Destiny could be better, because right now the game is good. It's good as it stands. It's not great, and I think it's got a ton of potential, as a lot of people have said about it, and would just like to see that potential realized, because I think Destiny could be one of the best games out there in terms of first-person shooters. I think it already is a pretty solid game, but again, we need to see that potential realized. So anyways, guys, this has been Techno-Viking 23 here in the Crucible, doing a little PvP and bringing you a little commentary. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I'm going to jump off for now and try to focus on not getting ganked and playing bad, but we'll see how it goes. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see you again next time.